All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Um, just to preface this, can you guys hear me? We are having a lot of internet issues, have been having internet issues all morning, so I'm not sure um, if the sound goes in and out or, there's not a whole heck of a lot we can do about it, but we're going to try and muddle our way through it. Yeah, a lot of people are reporting internet issues. I don't know if it's the internet as a whole or if or exactly what the deal is, but we're going to try and get through it. As you guys know, this is strictly Q&A for technical support on the software, and that's what we're doing here. We found after last week's call that seemed to really help quite a few of you, just judging by our support system. So I think these are a good thing, and we're going to keep doing them. With that said, if anybody's got questions, go ahead and punch them in, and let's just dive right into it. I don't really have a presentation planned. We wanted to reserve this strictly for Q&A and technical support. And then if we run out of things to talk about, then we will start putting together. I think Chris and Ed and I all talked about kind of doing a topic of the week webinar as well, where we're going to take like one feature of the software and get on a call and just kind of beat it to death and really exploit it live, so you guys can really see what the what the full power of each feature is. And we might do like 2 functions a week. We're still kind of working that out, but I think that's something we're going to be starting as early as late this week, might be early next week, but we are going to be putting that into practice. So I think that's going to also kind of help everybody understand a lot of what's going on. Digital Dave, how you doing? Marty, good to see you. Let's see. Let's jump right into it. Jeffrey says, I'm having a tough time with adding a client number from a sub-account in Twilio. Jeffrey, do you mean that client, you already have that number in a sub-account? That's the deal? Just punch it into the question box. Yeah, okay. If you already have a number in the sub-account and you want to use it, at this stage in the game, now we're changing the software up. It's going to make it easier to do this. But at this stage in the game, the way this works is what you would do, let me just jump in here real quick, is you actually would have to go into your MySQL database. And let me just jump in here real quick, and I'll show you how you would do this. I'm on this database right here, this _Dave. And let me just open this up, and I'll show you exactly what you're going to do here. What you would want to do is jump over to Twilio. Let me do that too. Yeah, internet's really, really slow today, guys. I apologize, but not a whole heck of a lot I can do about it, I'm on the Comcast business class internet, so shouldn't have to deal with this crap, but unfortunately I still do. I can't get fiber optic where I'm at yet. So looking forward to that when it comes out. But let me just show you this here. You can see I've got a bunch of sub-accounts created in Twilio here. You can see I've signed up Bob at Bob's Muffler a lot of times inside this account for demonstration. But basically, if we pick this sub-account, and I'm probably going to choose one that doesn't have a number in it because I went in and released a bunch of numbers. This is the most recent one that I signed up here. And here, let me just find one with a number in it real quick. I'm probably not going to because there we go. Okay, so what you would do is inside of your database, what you would have to do is actually sign up the client. Okay, so you would go through adding a client just like normal, and this is going to cost you $1 to do it because you are going to have to buy them a phone number. and you would add a client. So here you can see I've got my Bob at Bob's Muffler, and this is the phone number I've got in here, this 521 or 520-441-8764. So what you would want to do is come into your MySQL database, and right here under client information, here you can see here's Bob, here's my client, okay? And all you would need to do would be to swap out the phone number and the SID and the auth token, and that would move them onto the sub account. So in this case, we would come back over here to Twilio, and every sub account has its own auth token and SID, and you would just grab that information and then come back in here to your database and go inline edit, and from here we can just plug in the new information. So you would plug in the new phone number right there and the new SID and auth token, and that would effectively reuse the phone number and the sub account in Twilio. Now we do have some transfer capability coming, but that's how it has to be done for now, Jeff. Does that make sense? Okay, perfect, perfect. Jeff says, awesome, that was the missing link. Good to know, good to know. I also want to address, I almost shouldn't publicly address this creativity. I'm not going to. There's somebody on the call here that on Friday's call and on today's call is actually impersonating somebody else to get their questions answered, and I gotta say it's working, and I'm not going to go into details. So but it's working, whoever you are. Digital Dave says, is this just about WB SMS, not SPS, LBS, or the others? This is to cover the SMS systems, both the Wrecking Ball system and the SPS system. So if you have questions down either of those roads, that's what this is going to be for, Dave. And if you have an LBS question, we're going to take that in other places, but obviously you know where to find me, sir, so feel free to do so. Take a look through the question box here, and I just got a text from Christopher and Ed saying both of their internet just went down, so they have accidentally left the call. I apologize for that. Hopefully we'll get them back here sooner or later. Jim says, when using autoresponders, if you want them to go out the same day, do you have to leave the days field blank or put a 0 in it? That's a good question, Jim. To be honest with you, I've never tried that. What Jim's talking about is in campaigns here. If we add a new campaign, we have our autoresponder field, and he's asking if we wanted the message to go out the same day, what would we put in here? And I suspect it's going to be a 0, Jim. But to be honest with you, I haven't tried it. I would say just test it and find out. I will do the same here when we get off the call and come up with an answer, and we'll post that in the forum. I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head. I've never tried it. So give it a try and test it. And if you don't have time to do that, I will test it as soon as we're done with the webinar, and I will post an answer to that question in the forum. Let's see, I missed the last webinar. Can you explain in a little more detail how and why you set up PayPal buy buttons the way you did? Okay, David, are you using SPS? Yes, okay. I am going to screw that one up, so I'm going to put that one aside, and because I don't do it, I get somebody else to do it for me, so I'm going to give you probably bad information if I answer that question. Let's put that one aside, and let's see if we can get Ed back on the call here, and then we will get into that one. Let's see. Please show where the restaurant system and training of the system is. All right. The restaurant system, Larry, is covered. The messages are set inside of settings and notifier. So you can see these top 3 messages actually pertain to the restaurant notification. And this is the table is ready message, this is the waiting list confirmation message. So the minute you add them to the list, they get this message. And then 90 minutes after the table is ready message, they get this message. Now you can pass the variable client name into all of them, and these are where the 3 messages are set. The use of the restaurant notifier is over in the mobile version, and to get there you go to wherever your install is and go /M. And here is the mobile controls. So what happens here is you would come into the seating notifier and you would add a name and add a phone number, and remember you have to use the +1 here, and the number of people in service, and you would add that customer. You can see from there they show up in the list, and I'm sorry guys, I'm moving my GoToWebinar box out of the way. They show up in the list, and then when you're ready to let them know their table is ready, you click the box and you click SMS. Now I don't have an SMS entered, so this didn't turn green like it should have because I don't have that entered in my settings. Otherwise it would have. There is training videos in the members area. Let me just jump back over here real quick and jump into the training into the members area. I'll show you where those are at. If you go to SMS system and then go mobile notifier, slow internet today. Here's all of the training for all of the mobile functionality. It's right here in the members area under mobile notifier. Does that answer your question, Larry? All right. Perfect. Let's see what else we got. Can we go through the process of adding a new customer for those of us with SPS and SMS? SPS, can I show you guys that? I can't. I have one SPS install, and I have live clients on it. I can't use it for this demo. Let me take a look here and see if Ed got back on here, because he's got a demo install we can show you. No, he's not. Let's hang out on that one, and we'll get back to that here after we get Ed back on. Jack says, I can't set an appointment for the same customer more than once. They're in the system. The scheduler will not work with another opt-in. Jack, could I get you to do me a favor and just punch that into support, into the support ticket? I want to take a look at that one. That could be a legit bug. I'm not positive on that. I'm trying to remember. I'm sure that we had tested that in the test group, but that was a while ago. So that could be a legit bug. If I could get you to just punch that one into the support ticket system, we'll get that addressed immediately. And Neil says case studies would be good too. Keep the troops inspired. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Neil, and we're in the process of gathering those up. We have several just absolute home run success stories on the system now. And very frankly, it's tough to get people to take a minute to give me the case study. I've tried to arrange some interviews with the people, but it's they just don't have the time for it. So we're working on compiling all of that, but it seems like anything more than 2 sentences worth of bragging is hard to get out of anybody. So, you know, I hate to adopt a hardball approach with it, you know, and tell them, hey, I got to have this or else. But we are working on putting those case studies together. So if I enable the switch packages in a package, can someone log in their account and switch to a different account? Yes, Michael, that is exactly what that's for. Yeah, and Eric pointed out to make sure and let them know that they still, I just went through this, how to change up, add a number from a different sub-account here inside of your database. you still have to add a client from within the system first. That will put them in the database, and from there then you could go into the database and change out this information. Thank you, Eric. I have a group set up with 3 people in it. 2 get their texts. I do not. Where would I look to fix this? Have you ever texted in stop, Larry? You may be blocked at the Twilio level. And what I would do is just text start or yes, and that will unblock your phone number. I strongly suspect that's what's going on. I have the payment button set up on the SPS system. Do we create complementary packages in the SMS system, or do they integrate together? As of right now, they do not. There is no direct integration between the payment systems, but you're exactly right, Pierre. Basically, what you're going to do is create a complementary package in SMS. The SPS system is going to take care of all of your billing, but you can still control what your clients have access to in the system here by editing the package. So that you're exactly right. You're going to come into packages. Here you can see I have the scheduler, SMS campaign, poll, and loyalty campaign checked. So this is how you're going to control what the clients have access to. So what I'm going to do here, what I'll do is just switch account, and I'm going to log into the client account just by doing a switch account, and then I can click the login button. We're waiting again on the internet. This is really bad. And from here you can see, well, sooner or later, as soon as the screen pops up, yeah, so here you can see now I'm logged in as Bob, and Bob only has access to the stuff I want him to have access. So basically, let me just log out and log back into my admin here. Basically, you're using the packages inside of the Wrecking Ball SMS system just to control the client access. You're going to use your SPS system to do all of the billing. Let's see. Any news on the SPS update release? Yes, it is available, Jim. It's inside the members area. The generic SPS is also available now, and that's so you can use your own front-end website. I think there's one more feature that we promised you, and Ed is working on that now. So yeah, it is available. And let's see, awesome, that was missing link. Yeah, sure. Last webinar, you mentioned how start and stop messages would pause a campaign at Twilio. Does it do it just for the Twilio number they replied to, or all Twilio numbers, i.e. all your accounts? Twilio is making a move so it's number specific. And from the news I've been seeing, that should be happening sometime this week. As of today, or I should say as of yesterday, if somebody texts stop, they are blocked across all of Twilio. With the FTC and FCC regs getting stricter, Twilio has kind of adopted a hardline approach that if somebody texts stop, we don't want to broadcast anything to them. And I agree with that, very frankly. You need to keep in mind that you are always going to have unsubscribes, always. Doesn't matter whether it's an email list or an SMS list, you're always going to have unsubscribes. And I am personally from the school that if somebody texts stop, I don't care why they texted stop. If they text stop, I don't want them on my list anymore. I just don't. I don't want to take that risk. And Twilio has adopted that as well. However, they did have a press release out that came out yesterday that said they were moving to a number-specific stop. So, and Eric dives in here and says, in regards to Jim's question, the first autoresponder message should be the campaign SMS. Yeah, I hear you, but there could be a situation where you want one to go out 5 hours after the campaign message. So we will need to test that and get that answer into the forum. Has Wrecking Ball been updated for the Ken Anderson training? It's in process. I expect that to be done tomorrow. Doesn't mean it won't be. We may find a bug in it, Ned, but it'll be ready to start playing with and testing tomorrow. And what Ned's talking about will affect everybody that has the Wrecking Ball SMS system. Let me just show you what we're doing. If I come over here to the M again, which is our mobile control, we're going to give you guys the ability to limit the buttons that are seen here on a package-by-package basis, and also edit the colors for appearance and the title up here on a package-by-package basis. That will allow you to create a package for an individual client and brand the mobile controls for that client. And like I said, that should be ready in the morning. Doesn't mean we won't find a bug in it, but it'll be ready in the morning. Let's see. When using the offer expiration, how will it display to the end user? Is the offer expiration tied to the date that the subscriber comes in? Yes. Let me jump back over here. And let me just jump into a campaign here real quick. Okay. If I add an expiring date and put in a 3, well, I put in a 4 because I missed the button. And then in the campaign SMS, we do a %date % like that. When this goes out, it is actually going to go out and look like this. It is June, so it's going to go out. Today is the 5th, so this would actually appear in the message like that, June 9. And that's how it will look. Actually, I think it's going to be the first 3 letters, which will be June 9, like that. So if this were a 7, then it would be 7 days from today. So the expiration date is always from the date of activation on the campaign. And it is always displayed in this format when you use the %date % in the message. Let's see. Larry says, this is President Bill Clinton. How do you add or take away options in the mobile side of SMS? That's going to be controlled in the packages. Impersonator. That's going to be controlled in the packages. And basically what's going to happen is if the appropriate, for instance, if polling is not checked, then all buttons related to polling will not show. So it's going to be tied to the View App Tools, and depending on which tools you have available to that client is going to determine which buttons show up in the mobile version. Is %sender % still a valid wildcard, and if so, where would you use it? No, I don't think it is, Edward. I have to go check something. I think, as a matter of fact, I think we have a tooltip in here that still listed. Is that correct, Edward? Punch in a yes if, yeah, okay. That tooltip needs to be changed. The %sender % has been replaced with %phone number %. So that tooltip actually needs to be changed, and we'll make a note of that and make it happen. Could not putting in the +1 caused you to get the 90-minute message? Pierre, are you saying the 90-minute message is not working? Is that what you're saying? When a client runs out of credits, Pierre, answer the other question first. The 90-minute message, is that not working for you? Okay. That's probably a function of your cron job. Is the scheduler working for you? Okay. I couldn't find a list of the merge codes we can use other than the tooltips. Is there a list? Okay, and the cron job is good. Pierre, put in a support ticket and let's update you and make sure your system is up to date. If the update doesn't work, we're going to have to tear into it because I know that it's working across the board. Okay, you have already updated. Put in a support ticket. We want to get that one checked out with the programmer then. We will put together a list of the merge codes, and Eric, you're on the call. Correct me if I'm wrong, but all the merge codes are also listed in the PDF user guide, are they not? Yeah, okay. So there is a PDF user guide that we've got in the members area, and all of the merge codes are in that document as well, guys, as well as being in the tooltips. And we do have the one tooltip to get rewritten. So let's see. And I just got another text from Christopher and Ed. Their internet is still down. They're working on it. Larry says, I'll take a look at the mobile training. Covered that one. Yeah, okay, I may come back to that. What is the purpose of the M directory under SPS? And I mean SPS, not SMS. That directory doesn't have an index file, and you cannot browse folders. Not good. Are you sure the M directory isn't left over from something? I don't think there is an M directory in SPS. Let me take a look. Let me take a look. Well, this will only take 15, 20 minutes here. Wow. I think there's a global internet problem right now. I'm not sure, guys. Let's see. Yeah, Ron says, Dave, could we have the programmer automatically append in the +1 or whatever, so we don't need to enter that when entering into their notifier? Yeah, we could do that, Ron. That's a good idea. We'll enter that in the packages so we can set the client up with a default country code, and we'll get that in there. That's a good idea. I like it. Is there a white label training in the SMS system assets? Well, there is and there isn't. I mean, we've tried our best to make all of the videos completely white label. You'll notice if I come over here and take a look at the videos, I've taken great care to make sure that there's no header branding and there's no, it's a dummy phone number, and I don't have a support email in here, and we've made them all downloadable. So you can download them from here and put them on your own website if you'd like. So I mean, we've done our best to do that. I'm just going back here. Yeah, there is no M folder in the SPS system, sir. That M is left over from an old install or something, because there's not one in here. So I didn't think that there was. I think that M is probably left over from an old install, or possibly you tried to install something on top of something else, and that's where it came from, but there is no M folder in the SPS system. On the viral campaign, if I choose notification check, how will I be notified? By text, by email? or by phone, and what will I be notified for the original keyword or the share keyword or both? No, I'll show you what that is. If we come into viral, what Ed's talking about here is this notification check right here. And what that's going to do is, because the whole idea behind a viral campaign is you're going to send a code to your buddies, and your buddies are going to text that code in for you to earn rewards. And if notification check is checked, you're going to get a text message every time one of your buddies sends in the code. So if we have this set to 5, your buddy sends in the first code. By using this to-go variable, you're going to get a message that says one of your friends has taken you up on your offer. You only need 4 more to get a free pizza. And if 2 of them text in, this will be a 3. If 3 of them text in, this will be a 2. And, you know, that's just how many texted in your unique code coming off of the number you set here. If notification check is not checked, then this message just doesn't go out, period. So that's what that's for. For Alejandro, can we create 7-day free trials instead of 30 days? Yes, you can do that inside of SPS. Let me just look. Eric, do you have an SPS system up that that doesn't have any sensitive data in it? Is that what you put in here? I bet it is, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Let me jump in here. Let's do this one. I'm going to pause my screen here for a second, guys. Just waiting on the login here. This is really bad today. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the interweb, but this is pretty ugly. I'm still waiting. I'm still sitting here on the login screen, guys. I apologize for this. All right. Can you guys still hear me? I can't get anything to happen here on the internet. All right, I'm still sitting here on this login screen. Okay. Wow, I'm not sure what's going on here, guys. Hang on, I'm hitting refresh. Hitting refresh. Yeah, that's what I just did, Jeffrey. Jeffrey says hit stop and hit refresh. That's exactly what I did. And I'm still working on it here. So yeah, Yeah, I know this is exciting stuff for everyone, isn't it? It's like watching ice freeze. Uh, hmm. Yeah, or paint dry. Exactly, Fred. Wow. All right. I'm going to take another question, and we're going to come back to that. Hopefully, it'll log in the meantime. Let's see. Where was I? All right. Let's get back to. I'll fire that guy back up. When an autoresponder is set up, either under contest or regular campaign, does it automatically appear on the scheduler? Yeah, I mean, what's going to happen is if you're in a campaign here, wow, this is pissing me off. Mario, no, I think the audio is fading in and out for everybody. It's not just you. So, yeah, when you're in a campaign, if you have an autoresponder set here for, let's say, 2 days, and somebody joins that list today, it will post that autoresponder, 2 days from the day they join. Okay? That's how that works, Lee. Let's see. Alejandro, we're coming back to you. Dave, what's the ETA of getting authorized nets set up for billing? We've got first data set up now, Ron, and it's working. Ed's working on authorized.net. I'm hesitant to put an ETA to it, but I would have to say right around this time next week is probably a pretty good best guess. So, all right, questions. Where are they? There we go. I gotta move this question box so I can see it. Here we go. That's better. That's better. Okay. Can you create 31 keywords for a loyalty campaign and allow customers to get coffee shop to get a 7th? Yeah, absolutely, Edward. That's exactly what it's for. Cover that again here real quick. Here's a loyalty campaign we have set up. Let me just show you the campaign itself. Here's the winner message. This is going to go out when they've redeemed a reward. Here's the loser message. We call it a loser message, but basically this is telling them how many more visits they have to go using the to-go variable. And here is an invalid keyword message, okay? So if I click the back button, I'll click the down arrow here, you can see here is the keywords that I have set up and the date that they correspond to. And to add keywords, you can simply use the plus sign, and you can either add a keyword manually, like so, and if the internet catches up, and now you can see that one's added, and you can also just upload a CSV file with all of those keywords of the day, but that is exactly what it's for. Let's see, I made a contact that had a grocery store client that tried several different SMS systems, but the database was quite large, and they found their messages would take several hours to deliver and or get delivered at 1 or 2 a.m. I haven't had any experience. I wonder if this could happen with Twilio. Theoretically, Steve, it could happen. However, we don't think it's an issue. I've personally run tests to 7,700 people, and that took less than 40 minutes to get all 7,700 out, and that was actually a voice broadcast, which takes substantially longer than a text message. So I think Twilio's got their resources fairly well dialed in. I really don't think you're going to have any issues. I certainly have not. If we have SPS, should we change all of our web URLs? Yeah, Ed says, if we have SPS, should we change all of our web URLs to the URL for the SPS system and change it to post? The simple answer is yes. However, if you just come into settings and click this box right here using SPS and enter that URL in, and then pair the tracking ID up with the client in SPS, what will happen is that will automatically get appended anytime you set up a new campaign. I'll show you that real quick. Here you can see, here's that URL. It'll automatically get appended in here. And if I had a tracking number in here, let me just put one in real quick. The tracking number would obviously match the client in your SPS system. And we come back over here to campaigns, and let me add a new campaign. You can see that now the tracking number's in there and the URL. The get post, either one of these is going to work. Okay, it doesn't really matter. The only difference between get and post, they both pass all of the variables that need to be passed. On a get, all of that information shows up in the browser bar, but because of the way this is happening, it's not going to matter. There are some situations where you would want to use a get or a post, and I'm not a coder, so I'm not even going to try and explain the various reasons for doing that. But the reality for SPS, it doesn't matter whether it's set to get or to post. It just doesn't matter. Covered that one. And we covered that one a little bit. Mark says, what is the ID field when you create a new campaign in SMS? Is it the ID of the customer? In your SPS system, you're going to have clients in here, and your clients are going to have tracking numbers. And I'm in here. Look at that. So you can see here's the member ID number, and what you're going to want to do is enter that member ID number right here, and that's what allows the two systems to report back and forth to each other. If you don't have SPS, you can use this any way that you want, really, is what it comes down to. And on a MySQL database export, the tracking number would be hard-coded to any message that comes out. All right, got that one, got that one. The time zone in my scheduler is correct, but the time in my scheduler is off by an hour. Is that a bug that needs to be fixed? No. I can't say no. Here's what I think is going on with you, Daniel. You probably have this box checked. If you go into Settings and Personal Info, there's a box here for daytime savings, and you don't want that checked. The only time that box gets used is if you live in a state such as Arizona that does not honor daylight savings time. That's the only time that box ever gets checked. Your server is going to automatically adjust for daylight savings time. So the only time that needs to be checked is if you live in, I think there's 4 states in the country that don't honor daylight savings time in the winter, and Arizona's one of them. I can't remember the others. But that's the only time you're going to use that checkbox, and I strongly suspect that yours is checked, and that's your problem. Let's see. I typed stop on one of my campaigns just to see what would happen during my testing. Do I just type start to tell Twilio to start me again? Yes, either start or yes, and you should receive a resubscribe message from Twilio. And then if you have a typo SMS in here, you're going to receive that typo message as well. Okay? And we talked about this on the last webinar a little bit. We do have a workaround for that, and Eric has that recording up now. So I would highly recommend you watch that if you're still confused on that. When a client runs out of credits in the SPS, how does the system respond? It sends them an email and sends you an email letting them know that they are out of credits. It does not turn anybody off. That's a manual process, but you will get an email and your client will get an email as well. Let's see, covered that one. Any update on when people sign up to SPS site as a free trial, etc., will they automatically be added into the WB SMS system? Yeah, that works now. That has always functioned, Simon. You just have to have this tracking ID and the URL of your SPS install in here, and when they're added in, you will see that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take a guess. Let me pause my screen again here and log in. I'll show you this. Oops. Thank you. Eric's way out in front of me. Oh. Is the V in there on this one? Oh, you tore this one down. All right. Yeah. What happens if you come into my lists, anybody that's signed up on a free trial, you can see it right here. It'll say free trial. But yeah, as long as you have those paired up in your settings, that's already functioning. You're not waiting on anything to make that happen. Let's see. Audio breaking up. Yeah, I know it. There's nothing I can do about it, guys. All right. Yeah, no, Pete. Pete says programming in the +1 not so good for us in the UK. No, Pete. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have you put the default in the package here. So we'll add another field that you can put in your +1 or your +44 country code. So it won't be a +1 across the board. We'll just put the default right here in the package. Let's see. Yeah, David says at some point, some webinar, could we do a full client lifecycle example from their sign-up, training activity to upgrade exit? Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what we're talking about doing, David. And I think that's going to help a lot of people out. As a matter of fact, we'll probably do that Thursday. I'll plan for that, guys. What we'll do is we'll take a fresh install. We'll add a client. We'll set the client up on a campaign, and we'll go start to finish on it all the way through. Does that sound like a good plan for everybody for Thursday? Yeah. Okay. That's what we're going to do for Thursday's webinar. We're going to make sure and do that because I think that's going to help a handful of people out for sure. So we will do that for sure Wednesday. Let's see. How do you bill for voice calls? Is it done with SMS or separately due to the differences in cost? Basically, 1 voice minute is billed as 1 SMS credit. And inside of packages, you can limit the voice usage as well. You can put a 0 in here to lock them out of any voice usage. Otherwise, you can specify how many voice minutes they get right inside of the package. You can bill it any way that you want. Is there a way for the business to check if the customer loyalty number is valid? Not as of this moment. We talked about this a little bit in the last webinar. I don't think anybody's going to be using the customer loyalty program to give away television sets. Typically it's going to be a car wash or a cup of coffee or a free beer or something like that. And in my opinion, I've had a lot of people ask me about this. In my opinion, letting your customers rip you off by sharing with other potential customers is a good thing, not a bad thing. I don't know any business in America that won't give away a free car wash or a free cup of coffee to get another person in the door. So when I designed the loyalty program, I did not design that into the system. There's been a lot of concern and requests for it. I said on the last webinar, if somebody can show me a real-world, in-use, practical example of why it's required, I'll put it in here. To date, nobody's jumped up and shown me that, because I don't feel it exists in the real world. Any client that you have that's using a loyalty campaign is going to be more than happy to, quote-unquote, be ripped off if it brings another customer in. They just are. I say this from real-world experience. I'm sure that there will be an exception to that, but I have yet to have somebody let me know about it. So, like I said, if you've got a real-world example of why it's an issue, please let me know about it, and we'll address it. But as of right now, there are no real-world examples. Jim says, it seems to me that the viral SMS campaign could be used in conjunction with Ken's AppRocket system and would be killer for driving Facebook fan page likes and land free trial signups. I think you're absolutely right, Jim. Get on it. All right, coming down, going through the questions. Your audio often breaks up. Yeah, I know. There's nothing I can do about it, guys. Is there a way to make the flowcharts printer-friendly for the loyalty or the viral campaigns? I don't know. I don't know, Marty. I export them out of Gliffy, and they are the size that they are. I would have to believe you could bring them into